All right, Gary. It looked like that other one worked, and that was number 9, if you remember. So this is number 10. Okay. But that's okay. It's only the second one where I'm getting back with you. Okay. I took another listen in between here, of your video, and you talked about, okay, let's say we abolish Federal Reserve banking, fractional reserve banking, and let's see what it would be like. And then you went on to, kind of postulate your model there, and I want to tell you actually what it would be like. Okay, Gary. I'm gonna ask you to kind of like sit back, relax, light up, and have a listen to the world on full reserve, debt-free, money issue monetary system, the one that the American Monetary Act provides. Okay, we have an economy, a $10 trillion economy, and the Congress, which has the power to create the nation's money, has two things going on. It's adopting its budget for next year, okay? And it has a federal monetary authority, and the federal monetary authority is looking at the economy, everything that's going on in the economy, and it's determining what the proper quantity of additional money is going to be required in the next year, the same year that the budget's being adopted, okay? And with that information and the Congress viewing what's going on, they adopt a budget, and they adopt the budget. I'm going to say, to make the numbers, 200 billion is the amount of new money that they need. Government writes checks, so they adopt a budget that's $200 billion short on the revenue side from the expense side. Here's the revenue, here's the expense. The expense is 200 billion, the revenue is 200 billion short, and that's made up with money creation. Okay, the federal government is going to pay all those expenses. It's going to add $200 billion to the economy, just exactly the same as should be done, even if you had a fractional reserve banking system, and the Open Market Committee was out running around trying to figure out how to make interest rates do what it wants it to do with regard to the growth of the money supply. It's not going to be any of that crap, Gary. Okay, it's going to be our government, and it's going to be that monetary authority, and we're going to be watching them, and we're going to be watching the Congress, and they're going to adopt a budget. And next year, as we go through that year, Gary, that $200 billion is going to get deposited in the bank accounts of all the people. Now, we've made the entire correction that we're proposing, and that means that we're in a situation where even the investment banks do not create money. Okay, the investment banks do not create debts. They do not create money as debt. Excuse me. They create debts, but they create debts with real money. Okay, they lend real money. That's how you create debts. You create debts with real money. And next year, when you go into the bank, Gary, okay, when you deposit your check in the bank, you want to know something? You happen to have become the top banana. Okay, you're the top banana. You're the depositor. Okay. The bank has only your real money. Your and all the other depositors, and collectively all the depositors in this country, are running the money system. Okay, Gary? That's what it's going to be like. Okay? What's your bank lending the money for? Do you care? Goddamn right you care. Okay? Because they're lending real money. Okay? They're lending real money. They're lending your money. If you're allowing them to lend your money. I mean, there'll be banks where they won't be allowed to lend money. Okay, they're going to be just checking, demand, no lending, savings, investment, lending. Doesn't matter. The important thing is depositors, not the bankers. They're going to be in charge of what? The monetary system, the financial system, the economy. That's how it works, Gary. That's the revolution. That's the revolution that we're talking about. You think that's a pipe dream? Now, all I can tell you is this. Is what happened in the colonies, and during the Revolutionary War, and during those years during the Revolutionary War, it's what happened with the greenbacks. Okay, Lincoln created What was then would have been considered hundreds of billions of dollars, but even though it was only a few hundred million of greenback dollars. Going back to greenbacks. Greenbacks is what this is all about. This is the greenback revolution. Okay? But now the people that deposit the real money are in charge. Because if you don't like where your bank is lending your money, I'm out of here, and you're out of here. You're going to go to a bank. You're going to look at the lending policies of the bank. Remember the bank that wouldn't lend to my dad, didn't care because they had security? You ain't going to put your money in that bank, Gary, because you're going to know what their lending policies are. Because you know why? You're the depositors. You're the depositors. I either take it out of here or put it in my credit union. I'll put it in my co-op bank. I'll put it in a commercial bank. But there's a real question in my mind about why the entire deposit banking checking system is not going to be a cooperative banking, because there's going to be very little money to be made. There's not going to be any incentive to make money, because it's going to be like, well, you only have the people's money. They're not making any money on it. You're going to make money on your service charges. You better have the lowest service charges, or they're going to put their money somewhere else. So I don't see the commercial banks even being there. That part. Okay? I see that moving, transitioning quickly. So when you talk about, let's say that we've gone to, we've ended fractional reserve banking, and you want to start putting together these scenarios, you got to really think back to what would really be happening. Not with the wealth and the assets, because a lot of that has to get worked out. I recognize that. But to talk about it within the context of the revolution having taken place, Gary. Okay? When the revolution has taken place, there's going to be real money only deposited in the banks. Okay? Real money. No bank is going to be lending anything except real money. Money that has been created, that is real money as you and I know it. That is to say, it's somebody's real asset. It's not debt. It's not debt. You cannot go to the bank and borrow somebody else's money, okay, and then take that money and leverage it up. You can't do that. There'll be no leveraging. Everything will be real money. Now, you may think that you can't have commerce and all that. Well, all I can tell you is this. Remember the Federal Monetary Authority? Okay? They know how to make the banking system work and the economy work, really. And the banking system and then the monetary system under that has to support, engage, providing the means of exchange, no matter where it is. So that's my take on that, Gary. I want you to think about, there's another world besides taxation. Okay? Yeah, we need that tax, all that taxation stuff that you're talking about. Well, we need that. We will have that, okay? We will have that when we get control of politics. When we get control of politics, we'll have a new money system. So, just a quick, narrow thought on what happens when we don't have fractional reserve banking. Okay? When we don't have fractional reserve banking, there's no difference to the borrower. Okay? The difference to the lender is he has somebody's real money in his bank, somebody's savings that they okay for investment, and somebody wants to come in and borrow it. Well, they're not going to leverage it up. Okay? They're going to lend it out. And when they lend it out, it's real money. There goes the risk, Gary. Not only the risk, but the means for concentrating the wealth that you're so worried about. That's gone. That's gone. That's 20th century stuff, Gary. Think about it. Think about it. Thanks.